Edit audio.
This episode is for all who mother in ways seen and unseen. To the moms navigating toddler chaos, the ones preparing for high school graduation, the mothers-to-be, and the mothers who are no longer earthside. To those who are trying, grieving, choosing not to mother, or figuring out what motherhood means to them. May you feel held, may you feel honored, and may you feel deeply loved. Hello, and welcome back to the Be Well Sis podcast. I am your host, Dr. Cassandra Dunbar. How has life been treating you? But most importantly, how have you been treating yourself? So this solo episode is a little bit different, way more personal than honestly I usually am. It's layered, a little tender, a little bit raw. So before we hop into it, let's go ahead and take a deep breath with me. In through your nose, hold it, and then out through your mouth. And then one more time, in through your nose, hold it, and then out through your mouth. Honestly, I think that was more for me than it was for you, but I hope you feel a little bit more grounded, a little bit more centered, and that you've been able to catch your breath in this moment. So in today's episode, I'll be talking about matrescence, mental health in motherhood, and a moment that I truly thought that my time here on earth was up. So what is matrescence? We don't talk enough about the transformation that happens when we become mothers, not just physically, but emotionally, psychologically, and even spiritually. And again, that word is matrescence. It is the entire process of becoming a mother, not just the pregnancy, not just the birth, but the identity shift that happens after. It's the tug of war between who you were and who you're becoming. It's like looking in the mirror and not fully recognizing the woman staring back. It's the morning of freedom and the miraculous awe of new life all at once. It's not just postpartum, it's not pathology, it's human development. Anthropologist Dana Raphael gave us this word, and she was also the person who popularized the term doula. Before Dana Raphael, many of us never even knew this term existed, but without language, we assume that this discomfort is our fault. That we're just, quote, not cut out for this, or there is something that we're doing wrong. But let me assure you that this is not the case. This is transformation. And like all transformations, it's messy, it's sacred, and sometimes it can be traumatic. About 2 weeks ago now, my family and I were headed to the Blacksonian, the Smithsonian National Museum of African American History and Culture in Washington, D.C. We were super excited and decided, you know what, we're going to make this a really quick trip. We're going to take the kids up after school and grab some dinner and then hit the road headed to DC. The trip should last about 6 hours from Charlotte to DC, and we're like, we'll just make the overnight drive because we've done overnight drives before. If we ever drive to Florida, we typically just leave right before dinner time or right after dinner time. That way the kids spend the majority of their time sleeping and they wake up and we're at our destination. It's beautiful. Or we get there really, really late, right? So we were having a great time. My husband's driving, I'm in the passenger seat, the 2 kids are in the back, loving life. So I had just eaten and I got real cozy and fell asleep. What I woke up to was a boom, a large, just a crash. And the tractor trailer that was riding beside us drifted off into our lane, striking the back driver's side, which is where my son sits. So what I remember as I was woken up by the impact was getting tossed around what felt like at least 3 times in the car. And I'm holding on to my braids and bracing myself for what I thought would be next would be the car flipping. I'm like, okay, so we're about to start flipping because that's how jostled we were. Throughout this whole time, my eyes are held tightly shut. And all I can hear are the voices of my oldest son screaming and my husband saying no, as if he's speaking to the higher power, like demanding that no, like we're not done here. So we spun, and what I remember when I finally opened up my eyes and we came to a stop was that I could see all of the headlights of the cars coming at us. So we ended up facing traffic and we're pinned up against the median. When I turned around, I realized that my youngest was silent and it was his side that got hit. So I say his name. I'm like, babe, are you okay? And then he started crying and I felt so much relief. And in trying to get everybody settled, get the kids settled, and try to get myself settled as well, I'm doing visual inspections, make sure that nothing happened. And miraculously, our car was absolutely totaled, but we were okay. Like, I looked at the boys, nobody had anything to speak of in terms of like visual cuts, bruises, things like that. But of course, they were like mentally shaken. And the thing that I think about after we finally like composed ourselves and composed the kids, and police came, took the reports, and the tow truck came and took the car away, and we had to find a hotel in the middle of East Bumblefuck. By the time we got to the hotel and I was trying to still console the kids and console myself, I was just thinking about how during the impact, during the event when I could feel us getting hit several times because the truck hit the back of our car, T-boned us and spun us. So we were jostled a couple times. And in that moment, I just remember just surrendering. I wasn't scared. I was bracing myself. And I remember thinking, well, this is literally it. And we're going to start flipping now. And that'll be that. And when we finally stopped and I thought to myself, oh my goodness, we're alive, shaken, disoriented, but breathing. I think about how if timing had been different, even by seconds, like things could have been very different. But we survived. And in that survival, it does something to you. I had to console my oldest a lot. My oldest is like a big feeler, and he's a type that he doesn't keep things to himself. Whatever he's feeling, he expresses it, which I love. And he was essentially having a panic attack, several panic attacks for the next couple of days because he just felt like, wow, I almost died. And I had to remind him that, yeah, this was a traumatic event, and trauma happens because you've survived something horrific, right? And that's what survival does. It unearths something that was buried maybe. And in my case, it helps me to confront with my fragility. And it pulled me right back into that matrescence because I had to become a mother again in a different way. This time, a mother who had survived a thing with her kids and a mother with brand new eyes. Motherhood is often sold to us as something we're supposed to love instantly, but the truth is it's complicated. It can be joyful and lonely, sacred and suffocating, beautiful and boring, fulfilling and depleting. And when you're expected to keep going, keep giving, keep smiling through trauma and transition, your mental health can suffer in silence. And this is especially true for Black mothers. We're praised for enduring, for making a way out of no way, but where is the softness and where is the support? I've lived with clinical depression. I've survived postpartum depression and anxiety. And I'll tell you this, what I needed most wasn't more strength. It was permission to feel, to cry, to fall apart, to ask for help without guilt, to not always be the strong one. And I want to pause and say this too. I love being a mother. It's one of the few things that I've always been certain about since I was a little girl. But what I didn't know is that becoming an, quote, expert at motherhood really doesn't exist. Every day I'm mothering this version of my children and doing so as this version of myself, especially now as I begin to navigate perimenopause. And that means I'm constantly learning, constantly adjusting, and I no longer expect mastery. I give myself permission to simply try, to be present, to mess up, to repair, and to keep loving through it all. The hardest part in these past few weeks of living through this event with my family is trying to regulate my nervous system while helping them to regulate theirs. And I will say this, if you are listening and feel like your edges are fraying, if you've survived something or are surviving something, if motherhood hasn't been magical but messy and maddening, I want you to hear this. You're not broken, you're not behind, you are becoming. This is Matrescence. And it doesn't have an end date. You're allowed to change. You're allowed to want more. You're allowed to say, you know what, I need a minute, and mean it. Your survival matters. Your softness matters. Your wholeness is not a luxury. It's your birthright. So today I'm lighting a candle for the version of me who thought it was over, and choosing to honor the woman who emerged after. And I invite you to honor your transformations too. And not just the ones the world sees, but the quiet ones, the unseen ones, the ongoing ones. If this episode moves something in you, please share it with someone who needs to know that they're not alone either. As always, thank you so much for joining. I am so glad you're here. And until next time, be gentle, be honest, and be well, sis. Thank you for listening to this episode of Be Well, Sis. If you'd like to get in touch with us, there's a link in the show notes. Be Well, Sis is hosted by me, Dr. Cassandra Dunbar, and produced by Edit Audio. Don't forget to hit follow so you never miss an episode. Until next time, be well, sis.